Hello, in this video we are going to look at finding the scaled distance given the scale and the actual distance. Okay, a few things. So there are a lot of words in these problems which can mean the same thing. I just want you to know that map distance means scaled distance, actual distance means real distance. Okay, left-hand side is your map, right-hand side is your actual. Another thing is that the scale factor is this number on the right. So in this scale here, 500 is the scale factor. But you must have a 1 on the left-hand side. So just make sure that's a 1. Okay. And you will either need to times or divide by your scale factor. Please memorize this formula here. Actual equals map times scale factor. And this will also rearrange to give map equals actual divided by scale factor. So it says find the scaled distance given a scale 1:200 and the actual distance is 200 meters. And I've got a little process we can follow down here. So the first thing is your data table. You're just going to list as much stuff as you can. So actual or real life distance is 200 meters. That's given. Do we have the map or the scaled distance? Yes, we do have the map or the scaled. Well, actually, we don't. We're trying to find it. So I'm going to put in map distance. We don't know. The scale factor. Okay, that number on the right-hand side of the scale. We do know that. Next step is convert to consistent units. So what helps is I write down 1 centimeter is to 200 centimeters. I write down that. And I think, okay, I need to work in centimeters. I'm given meters here though. So how could I convert that 200 meters to centimeters? I am just going to times it by 100. Okay, so put 2 zeros on the end. Then my third step is I'm going to write my formula. Actual equals map times the scale factor. But I want to find that map distance. So I'm just going to rearrange my formula for it, which means I'll have to be dividing by the scale factor. Okay. So map is actual over scale factor. Actual, so substituting in centimeters, over the scale factor, 200. And then cancel a couple of zeros on top and bottom. 200 divided by 2 is 100. We plugged in centimeters, so we must get out centimeters. Okay. And so that's our scale distance. All right. Now let's look over here. If the actual distance is 4 kilometers, what is the map distance? So always start with that data table. Start with the data table. We don't know the map distance. We know the scale factor is 200. And then step 2, convert to consistent units. We have centimeters in our scale factor. So let's actually convert this to centimeters while we're here. So 4 kilometers. To get that to meters, it's going to be 4,000 meters. And then to get that to centimeters, you're going to put a couple more zeros on the end. Then you have your formula. Actual equals map times scale factor. Whoops. But we want our map distance, so we're going to be doing actual divided by scale factor. Actual in centimeters, 5 zeros, over the scale factor. So let's chuck that in. So 4,000 over 2, if we cancel a few zeros. I did not need my calculator for that, whoops. 2,000, we plugged in centimeters. Now, it just depends what they might want you to answer in, okay? Maybe they want you to answer in meters. It's a few less zeros, okay? So that would mean 20 meters on our map would be 4 kilometers. So these scales are a little bit out. Find the scaled distance given this, the scale and the actual distance. So get your data table right. We know from this that the scale factor is 10,000. It's that number on the right-hand side. We know that we need to convert our actual distance. Let's say that's centimeters. So this is going to be that. And then the actual equals map times the scale factor. Map equals actual divided by the scale factor. And the actual is 73650. Apologies for my handwriting. And the scale factor is 10,000. Dividing by 10,000, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It should be 7.365 centimeters on our map. Okay, that's our scaled distance. Find the scaled distance given this scale. Okay, so immediately identify the scale factor is 0.1. And I'm going to put 1 centimeters to 0.1 centimeters. Now, is everything in centimeters? Yes, we're looking good. So I'm going to write my formula. Actual equals map times scale factor. Map equals actual divided by scale factor. We don't know our scaled distance. Just showing that. That's our map. So we've got the actual is 30 over our scale factor, which is 0.1. Now we're dividing by a fraction here. Does anyone know what happens when we divide by a fraction? Look at our answer. Dividing by a fraction actually gets a bigger number. So this is where this fourth step comes into play, okay? Notice here, we've got our map distance is actually bigger than our actual distance. Okay, so what happens here is that we need to check that our answer makes sense. If our scale factor is a fraction, we're actually going to have our actual distance less than our map distance. So just check that makes sense in your head. I will show you why, because 30 divided by a tenth, right? That's what 0.1 is. Divide by a fraction means timesing by the flip of it. That's why we get a bigger number. So just showing you that there. Next bit, the actual straight line distance between the towns of Belmere and Hewitttville is 12 kilometers. How far apart would they be on the map, given a scale of 1:50,000? Okay, so looking at some key things, we just want to make a data table as a start. The actual distance is given. So I'm just going to write that. Actual distance equals 12 kilometers. And while I'm here, I'm going to convert that to centimeters. So to get that into meters, it's going to be 12,000 meters. To get that into centimeters, it's going to have a couple more zeros on the end. Okay, just breaking it down sentence by sentence. How far apart would they be on the map? So that's what we're trying to find. And we're given a scale of 1:50,000. So the scale factor is that number on the right. And then I remember my rule, right? Actual is the map times the scale factor. That's how you scale things up. Okay, and what are we trying to find? We're trying to find the map distance. That means we're going to have to divide both sides by the scale factor. So the map is the actual divided by the scale factor. The actual in centimeters is that number. And we're going to divide that by our nice scale factor. And we're going to cancel 4 zeros on the top and bottom. And 120 divided by 5 is 24. And our units, we plugged in centimeters, so we should get out centimeters. And that's what we want for our map. So a distance of 12 kilometers can be represented as 24 centimeters on our map. And in the next video, we're going to look at finding the actual distance given the scale and the scale distance. Okay, so I will see you then.